Good day, folks. I can still remember in 2011, Karina and we've been listening to the news, and the next moment there was this touching story about three children, young men, 14, 15 years old, that were lost at sea. And they were lost at sea for 51 days. For 51 days, they had to struggle to survive every day. And they tell this story how they could find three coconuts that they could break open and eat, how they had to catch rainwater in that small little boat. They didn't even have sunglasses or hats or anything for protection. When they were found, they were so thin, they looked like skulls, and the one just had enough strength to lift his hand only for a few seconds. The doctor said a few days more and they would have been dead. At one stage, they were in such a state of desperation that one of them wanted to commit suicide, and they could still see the mark of the machete, the knife that he had against his throat. His friends had to beg him to stay alive because he was the one steering the boat, and if he committed suicide, they realized it would have been their end as well. It's an amazing story. At that same time, the parents, after a certain time, they realized there's no way that their children can still be alive, the families. And they had a special service for these kids, greeted them, wept over them. And then suddenly, these children reappeared out of nowhere. And how easy is it then to forgive your children just because you realize what you've missed when they were not there, when they were gone? And exactly like that, I heard this story about this dad who lost his job. And he was in such a state of despair and depression. And he was blaming God in his state of depression. He was sitting there in the park with his son. He had to look after his son. His son was 3, 4 years old, loitering there, wandering off there with his ball, kicking his ball. And the dad only came to his senses when he saw that his son wasn't there. And when he looked for his son, he was just in time to saw how his son ran into the open road. It's a busy road. And there was a big truck. And he ran straight in front of that truck. And he lost his balance and he fell in front of the truck. And that truck went over him. And everything in that dad's heart came to a standstill. And the next moment, the little child got hold of his ball that he kicked over into the road in the busy street. And he ran back to his dad. And his dad grabbed him and held him against his heart. And he was just praising and worshiping God all the way home. He was just worshiping God because suddenly he felt like the richest man on earth. And suddenly the fact that he was without a job didn't really matter anymore, because he realized what value he had in that son of his. I bless you in the holy name of Jesus Christ.